All right, Sue Hell with Sun City Running here. We're here with a very game varsity boys team, Burgess High School. Just punched their ticket to state coming up in a few days and coming out of 1-5A. But first things first, how are we feeling? How are we feeling about things as it stands right now?
Makes sense. We're feeling good. We're feeling, I don't know, confident.
All right, all right. That's it. Yeah,
Oh,
we're feeling
Wait,
confident.
how are we feeling for state?
Yeah, yeah.
I would say we're all excited. Yeah, excited. Gotta be excited for competition. I feel like we're all put in the work through the whole season, so I feel like we'll perform pretty good.
Awesome. And we'll backtrack a little bit. I want to talk about regionals because not a lot of people got to see some of the footage and action out there, it being so, not a lot of people know that El Paso's not that close, to Odessa. I get asked all the time, what's the travel like for El Paso? You guys aren't that far, right? No, it's a good 6 hours away. Not like, the Dallas and Houston areas where they only got to travel a few hours. Um, but talk to me about your workouts leading up to regionals and how did we feel going into the regional aspect?
Workouts preparing for regionals. We had like it varied from road runs to hill workouts to track. It was just a variation between multiple things.
And did we feel like it was a good balance this year? I don't know if you guys changed the formula or you changed it up from last year, but did we feel comfortable with the workload going into regionals and did you guys have a bit of confidence coming off of that?
Uh, yeah, we kind of high mileage summer, and we did narrow it down a little bit during the season since well, we have our practices in the morning right before school, so our practices couldn't be as long, but we still got work in, and throughout the season we're going to very hilly places like McKelligan,
Mhm.
and that's with the hills on Lubbock.
That's good prep, and at district, you guys had some good prep, with those hills as well. Um, you guys clocked in a first place finish for your region 1-5A at district. Did that kind of help propel you guys into the regionals and help you guys kind of perform the way you did?
I would say for districts, we all took it. Uh, we took it seriously because we knew anything can happen at districts. But how the season was leading up, we knew that we could win, and we had the ability to win our districts. I would say that did build up our confidence, though, for regionals coming off a district win.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. And talk to us about your race and regionals. What was the mindset, you know, in the team huddle before the race? What were the thoughts, on the line? And how did we feel about our regional performance?
Okay. Our coach told us, I think, well, the day before and the day of that after regionals there is no tomorrow. So we just had the belief that, you know, there is no tomorrow. Like you have to run it like it's our last race. Because if we didn't qualify, then well, and especially for all of us since we're seniors.
Right, right. And talk to us about our race a little bit. How did we feel in that first mile? Going into that second mile, that's when you start really seeing those hills. And how do we feel about our finish?
I would say first mile. I mean, everybody likes to get out hard, so first
Right.
mile is probably going to be one of your fastest miles, especially at region course. We have that uphill uh first mile, but I'll say that for me, first mile, I felt really relaxed and good. I put myself in the position to make sure I would qualify and hopefully bring less points in for the team. But going to like mile two, I still felt good. Uh, I think the one that hurt the most was mile three, that last uphill.
Right.
But other than that, I feel like the whole race I felt pretty good.
The course is so vast that, those hills can kind of be deceptive because there is a bit of, flat, you guys are on top of a hill, so to speak, but in between those, there's some good flat areas, and so it's deceptively tough. Um, but one of the things that I think what I liked about this team, when you think of El Paso, you got your big 6A schools, you got Coronado, Pebble Hills, Eastwood, Franklin, and these teams get a lot of attention. But what I like about this team and especially about this season was your guys' consistency. Right out of the gate, first meet of the season, you guys ran a kind of deal and you got second place. Uh, fifth place at a Stars and Strides Invitational, it might seem like, okay, well, that's not consistent. But when you think about some of the teams that came out of town that you normally don't race against, like Los Alamos and Oregon Mountain, which have some freaking studs on their team, that's an impressive performance. And then, you race against Coronado, which is another tough 6A team. You guys take second, and you guys barely missed that by a point, that first place finish. And then you go into district and you get first place. To me, that's what's most impressive about this boys team and what I like to highlight about you guys is your consistency. But how did you guys maintain your cool throughout the season, knowing that, this might be a big year for us? How do we maintain this level of consistency and what do we do to handle these little things in between to kind of maintain that level of success?
Probably one of our mindset was like since it's our last year like in high school, that kind
Mhm.
of was to like keep going and never back down for like what we expected to do.
Yeah, and you guys got a lot graduating here. Um, What's different about this boys team? Because I know you guys are close, from years prior, and you guys have raced a lot together. But what is different about this year that you feel like, and at least from an outside perspective, for me personally, you guys seem to gel a little bit more this year than prior years.
What's it?
Uh, well, last year we had the exact same team. Maybe we had a senior who graduated, but I say what's different is that last year we had the same goals that we have right now. But last year we didn't hit any goal that we had for ourselves. And when we were all juniors, we told ourselves, well, next year we're gonna all be seniors. So I mean, it's our like what Carlos said, it's our last year. And then what our coach said, there's no tomorrow. So if what we did last year at regionals, then that's it. Last year we had an extra year, a senior year right now. But now that's it. This is our last year and same team from last year. We were very disappointed last year at regionals. So this year, I mean, we really had no tomorrow as everyone's seniors. If we didn't qualify, we would have been done already. I think
Right
I don't
on. Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of that what seems to be kind of like the team mantra, there's no tomorrow. Um, and kind of backtracking a little bit to when you talked about your district, where you kind of had that confidence knowing that, first place at district is well within your grasp, but like you said, anything can happen. Uh, it's hard to manage that expectation of staying at the top. And being at the top is a lot harder to stay there than it is to get there, in my opinion. Did you guys have any sort of doubt coming into the season or, handling that mindset of, we know what we have here, we can do it, but how do we maintain it? Was there any doubt with that, and how did you handle that?
Well, the preparations we had, practice almost, well, basically every day in the summer. We knew that our fitness was good. We knew that we can do something special this season. So we were confident that we could, and all of us knew that even though we all banged out the first race of the season, that we were close to peaking, that we still had a lot more left in us and a lot more race. So all of us just had the confidence and the preparation from the summer. The summer plays a big part into what you do in the season.
Awesome, awesome. And, you know, you talk about knowing and kind of getting that confidence off of the first meet, but was there anything about this season that surprised you where you had a moment where you guys were just like, oh man, this is it for us? You know what? We can actually do this. This is, it's different when you guys visualize it, but then when you start, executing and you get to that, you're in that position of like, oh man, we're here now. You know, this is our moment where we are gaining this confidence to kind of move forward. Um, what part of that season would you guys say was that point for you guys? Because I know you guys had a lot of, I mentioned only a few of your meets, but you guys went out and handled business, at Desert Twilight as well. But what were some of the moments for you that you felt you can say surprised you?
That's gonna do it. Probably the kind of deal, yeah. It was like is almost every team in El Paso, and we got second. So I think that was a motivator and confidence boost to what we can do for the rest of the season.
Awesome. And were there any parts of the season too where you felt like, okay, well, you tried something different, didn't work, or maybe you tried something different, you didn't expect it to have the outcome that it did, excluding the first meet?
I feel like it's not a certain meet, but like mainly Twilight because we all wanted to do like pack running, so we're not like too far out, so try to stay like near each other so we can get at least amount of points. That's something new we did this year that we didn't do in previous years. But I felt like that helped us like as like an individual and as a team.
Awesome, awesome. I like that approach. And for all you seniors, this is a big year for you guys, obviously. Um, what were some of the little details that you can tell me or tell anybody else or the audience, some of the things that you guys fine-tune that maybe last year, okay, well, you know what? I didn't get enough sleep, this coming year, I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to take any shortcuts, I'm going to get more sleep or fine-tune my diet or just just different ways in your mental approach. What's different this year as opposed to last year?
I feel like staying consistent with where you're like been doing like since like what Jacob said, been summer. That's when it first starts for the season. It's being consistent throughout the whole summer and throughout the whole season. Make sure you get enough sleep, eat well, make sure you take care of your body, uh, all things like that. Just stay consistent with your work.
Awesome, man. We'll get into state in a little bit, but talk to me about some of your guys' individual preparations. I want to know some of the little details. You guys have like any superstitions or, some weird little preps? I know some people got like lucky socks, stuff like that. What are some of the things that you guys can tell me? And I'd like some multiple answers on this one.
You go this.
I always eat at this certain almost all of us eat at this certain place, this Jason's Deli. We always get the chicken Alfredo from there the day before the race. So yeah, just like every Friday or Thursday, depending on when the race is on, we just get pasta and just eat at the table at Jason's Deli.
Yeah, Jason's Deli's kind of got it going on. They got a nice little underrated salad bar there. Um, and you know, I know personally, when I used to race, we used to have our little track list that would kind of get you amped up, as you're starting to get into competition. Have we formulated any new playlists going into state? And what are we listening to?
I don't know. I have a different playlist than all these guys. Like I don't know. I don't like.
What is it? What's your playlist?
Like Christian songs and like trying to pray before the race. It's the most important thing to do.
So you're the biblical type. All right, all right. So you're gonna carry the team on that cross. All right. Anybody else got some things that they're kind of favoring going into the state meet?
What's that? It's like songs. Like what songs? Why they say to some rap music, Mexican music, corridos, that motivate. No. Sonic soundtrack over.
And do you guys have like a team song that there's one song that just like gets the whole group going? No, okay. All right. All right. And now we'll fast forward, talk a little bit about state. What's our training been like going into state so far, and how do we feel?
I feel like training's like I said, we've been staying consistent. Nothing's going to change for workouts. That shouldn't change. I mean, we've been doing the same thing. It's been working for us throughout the whole year. But I think like this time we're taking it like a little bit more serious since it is state. There's college coaches. I know me and the guys have a good chance to get top three at state. Our main goal is to be grapevine that run the region. And I feel like if we all run our best, all PR and everything we can, and we'll dominate the competition over there.
And I know from experience, talking to some grapevine athletes over the years, they don't have a whole lot of areas like you guys do when it comes to training on the hills and whatnot. And so sometimes it can be a shock for them going into regionals and especially state because there's a lot of good hills there too. Do you feel like that kind of gives you guys an advantage over them going into state?
You want to answer? I don't think it gives us an advantage. I think that's before. I mean, it definitely gives an advantage mentally because we know like the burn that you feel on the legs, uh, the burn that you feel on the legs. Uh, if you're not used to it, then it can make or break your race. So yeah, for some of us, it made our race, and for some of us, it broke our race.
Gotcha, gotcha. And one of the most underrated aspects I think of running and in sports in general is the mental. It's in my opinion the least talked about part, and sometimes it can be taboo, sometimes it's not, and it's one of those things, especially in professional sports nowadays, it's becoming more of a prominent topic. Um, what's the mindset that you guys have going into state? And there's always an obvious amount of pressure. What's the mindset, and how do we handle that pressure, and what do we do to kind of like just cool off, make sure that we don't put the pressure on our shoulders, so to speak.
I feel like with me, I don't feel as much pressures as people would think because nobody really knows who we are, so they're not expecting that much from us. So we're like I would say, an underdog. I will be college coaches there and everything, but for me, I'm gonna try to treat it like a regular meet. Yes, it's state, but you gotta keep your mindset and not let the nervous get to you or like just break your race just because of it's state or because college coaches are there. I feel like for me, I just gotta be relaxed, calm, and just treat it like a normal meet.
Awesome, awesome. And one of the last questions, I always like, these type of things because, sometimes people got the same type of response and some people have a different perspective. But, what would be your advice to any future, 5A schools, or any in any region or division? What would be your advice to them to have this kind of level of success and consistency that this boys team has showed?
Uh, just to stay consistent, have like the hunger, the during a race so that you can achieve the times that you've trained for all season. Yeah, just the will, the hunger to what?
Got
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
we got 12th last year at regional, so
yeah.
Right on. Well, like I said, I followed you guys all season long, and you guys were low key one of my favorite teams that I was rooting for. What I really like about this team is, with some of the other 6A teams that we got in our city of El Paso, they get a lot of attention. You got the Coronados, the Pebble Hills, the Eastwoods, the Franklins, and even San Elliot, winning state as much as they do. What I like about this team and why I've followed you guys throughout this season is your attitude for one, and your consistency. And one of the things that's great about this sport is anything can happen. You know what I mean? But for things to move at a high pace on a consistent basis, week in and week out, you have to be doing the right things. And you got to be following the right plan. And the great thing about running, there's not one formula, but what you guys have done as a team has been the formula for you guys this season. And that's why I've really appreciated what you guys have done as a team and the way you represent El Paso. So I just want to tell you guys best of luck at state. For you seniors, it's going to be done in the blink of an eye, and just enjoy it. We're going to be eagerly awaiting for the results to see how you guys do. And you go out there and you race for each other. You guys will have a lot of success. So best of luck. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.